Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to My Deep Guide. Well, Supernote has issued yet another update, I guess the last one for the year, and it's the update 2.6.21, and it brings quite a few things to the table, a lot of fixes, a lot of improvements, but also something that the Supernote users have been long awaiting, and that is a real-time handwriting recognition capability on the Supernote. Let's check it out. All right, so here we are with the version 2.6.21, but what I need to mention definitely is that this is a beta. Now, as you know, as a rule, I don't really do reviews of beta. I like to have a final version and then kind of present the final version. However, set of circumstances here is such that we're at the end of the year, people are deciding what to buy and what to expect, what not to expect. And while the majority of people already knows what to expect with the Remarkable Tree, because that has been covered with the update 3 and it has started to roll out, once I do receive it, I will cover that as well. There's not that much info and coverage on the Supernote, and this is a very important update because it brings up the handwriting recognition ability, which is an important consideration for a user making a purchasing decision. So that's the reason why I am covering it as a beta, but to my understanding, I think the official release should be coming out soon, so it shouldn't be a long wait to actually get this in your hands. Now, in this update, there are quite a few fixes and updates and implementations in one giant new feature. So I'm just going to go quickly through, these smaller ones, and then we focus on the main dish. So in the settings, you have the new preference option in the display and input, and if you go to stylus settings, we now have Lay Me side button. And if you do have a Lay Me pen, then you have now an option to customize the functionality of the side button for that pen. We also have in the My Account page, you have forgotten password if you haven't logged in, and then you have an option to kind of, I guess, deal with the follow instructions for the forgotten password. And we also have updated language packs that would be also in display, input, language, and then language handwriting recognition. Now, because the language packs have been updated, what that means is that once you get your version of this software on your device, you will need to re-download any packages that have already been installed onto the device because the package itself has been updated. So, for example, I have Serbian and Norwegian, and then I had to update those so that it actually works properly. In mail category, you have the change of the home screen now so that you can select between Microsoft Exchange, Outlook, Hotmail, or other IMAP type of an account so that you can authorize those accounts and set up your mail service as follows. So those things are now added, and I think it's more streamlined this way. One of the general improvements is that the red blinking light, the problem when the device is no longer responding to the touch input, which is a bug, they have slightly addressed it, and it's slightly fixed. So now it takes less time for the device to return back to normal if it becomes affected by this issue, but to my understanding, they're still working on it. So we'll see what the final state of that bug is once when this is no longer a beta, once this is actually rolled out to the public. As far as documents functionality goes, they have added support of directly editing TXT files, so text files, documents, but their recommendation is that to keep the document up to 100,000 words, not more. I don't know, probably because of RAM or something like that. Then also the edges swiping responsiveness has been fixed, so that if you start swiping your pages from the edge and onto the screen, it is now far more responsive, which is not what was the case before. And then we also have, both for notes and the documents, we have the reduced probability of accidentally triggering the eraser gesture with the palm. Both marker and needlepoint pens have been improved to have smoother looking lines, and the Reader app or the Notebook app would accidentally crash if you would rapidly jump back and forth between files, and this is reportedly now been fixed as well. All right, enough about that. Now let's focus on the main dish, which is the real-time recognition notes, which have now been added. So now in your Supernote, you have an added option when you are creating your new notebook. So you can still see we have our notebook, new notebook, and then I tap on it. Now we have a question. Do you want to use a standard or a real-time recognition type of a notebook? And here you can switch between which languages you would like to use. I'm gonna keep it on English, and let's go back here. And it says support searching, handwriting, and faster exporting to text and Word, but it will increase power consumption because it is continuously processing and converting what you write. So let's create a new handwriting or real-time recognition notebook, and let's call it MDG test. All right. So that is our notebook, and we go enter. And right out of the bat, you're gonna see that we have this beautiful continuity and unification of the user experience is translated even into the new notebook. So if you're used to your standard notebook, everything works pretty much exactly the same, with the addition of 2 new icons here and some changes. So first of all, the real-time recognition notebook is the only type of a notebook that's capable of handwriting recognition. How does that work? How does the handwriting recognition work? Well, you write like you normally would, and the device does its work in the background. Riveting content, isn't it? But I wanted to show you how this works. So I've written that, and now I have one of 2 new icons. A with an I. That's your handwriting text recognition. And how does the handwriting recognition work? Well, you write like you normally would, and the device does its work in the background. Flawless recognition here, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to this. As you can see, when it converts this, it converts it in the lines. And currently it says recognition results English United States. One of the things that I've noticed that's lacking is that it's fairly closed off at the moment, and that you can't really change the recognition language after the fact. It remains for me to test it out to see if I change the handwriting recognition language afterwards, while I have a notebook opened. Is this setting locked to the notebook, or is it simply looking into the system settings? I haven't had the time to test that out. That's something that I'll test out later, and we'll see how it actually works in the final version. As I said, this is a beta. I just want to cover the basic parts here so that you guys know what to expect roughly. So we have real-time handwriting recognition, which is excellent. Then we have the search icon, which is searching your handwriting. So I think we said device, right? Let's see, search. Says that, found it, bam, it's the device, and it marks it. Now, one of the things that's kind of weird, and again, it's a beta, I don't have a way of easily clearing this out. The easiest thing that I can do is simply tap on this to get an overlay, and then go back to it, and then the overlay has cleared that box. Hopefully that's something that will be fixed in the final version, but you can do word search as well. And let's try normally, right? Let's try normally, or let's try something with more results. I don't know if I have more, but well, let's see. Yeah, I have 2 of them, so you can pick which one you would, and it actually clearly shows you in context which is the word that you would like to select. What are the things that you can do? Well, handwriting recognition, searching your handwriting. Other things that you can do is you can export this to a text file or a Word file. And how does that look like? Well, let's export to a Word file like this and then go export. Yep, so let's go here, jump to, let's see, that's MDG text document, and there we go. And once it's exported to a text or a document file, then it's correctly formatted and it's really easy to actually start editing it. And now comes into play when I was converting and testing this out, and if I would have an error, then I could just simply go into this mode, scratch the word like this to delete it, then tap here and then retype this, or use a Bluetooth keyboard if you want, etc, etc. So that's something that's exceptionally good. So now let's get back to our note. So that's the meat of it, and that's the heart of it. What are the other things that are supported, and what are the differences between the standard and the handwriting notebooks? Well, there are differences. For example, let's make a selection. So previously, in a previous version, you were not able to kind of do the selection thing, but now you can. Even in the handwriting notebook, you have supports moving, zooming, copying, pasting of lassoed handwriting. And more importantly, you can copy to another page, you can move it to another page, you can cut it, you can make it the title, you can do it a keyword, you can add it as an event in your calendar, and you have the hyperlinking functionality in the advanced or the handwriting notebook as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't want this, so I'm gonna delete it. Some of you will notice that some icons are missing. You don't have layers and you don't have a region eraser on the handwriting notebook. So let's go here and just write. So the eraser itself is now by default changed to a stroke eraser. So the regular eraser is a stroke eraser, and that just works like this. And that's something that I think really benefits the writing kind of aspect of it. And you can see that the gesture for erasing also is really good. And you also have the, it's too fast, but you will see that it's actually also erasing, so you can see the real-time erasing effect as well. Another thing that happens is if you write quite a lot, and for that I think I can go to another notebook to show you that. So, oh, and there's a new icon there, so that's actually nice. So here I have a bigger document where I was actually testing this to write quite a lot, and this has already been recognized, but I'm going to do re-recognize to show you the Q functionality. So if I go re-recognize, no, it doesn't work the way that I thought that it would. I thought that I could just go re-recognize and then go to Q to show you how it works. But basically the Q is there to show you if you've written quite a lot, because the device is continuously doing the handwriting recognition in the background. At any given point, you can go there and then go to Q to actually check out where it's at and what it's doing. I haven't tested re-recognize before, so I wasn't aware that it's actually doing things like this, and I don't know how long it actually takes because I haven't really tested it. And this is like a page and a half of handwritten recognition, so we can actually see how long that takes so that you get a good idea of what that works. But this is an irrelevant test, to be honest, because the whole point of it is that it's continuously doing handwriting recognition. There we go, and now it's done. So you will very rarely be in a situation where you want to do this, because as you're writing, the device is doing the handwriting recognition. But my point is that you can actually go to the queue, and if not everything has been recognized, here you will have a display in queue, and it will tell you what it's currently working on, where it's at, so that you have a better idea of, you know, what's going on and where you're at. So let's see here, MDG test note, there we go. Actually, let me just go back here and reposition this into the correct folder, which would be here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now we have everything proper. The next thing is that the recognition text uses page breaks to end the current page, not the page breaks from the original handwritten document. So hey, there we go, Q. Cool. So now it tells you, oh, I'm recognizing page 1. So I'm working on the page 1, and then once it's done, it will be, there we go, and then it goes away. All right, so the page thing, page breaks. So I'm gonna open up a bigger one. So this one is a much bigger document, and as you can see, I have 2 pages of handwritten notes, and it is now instantaneous, comma. That's where my page break is. And if I go here, you can see that we have now 2 pages, page 1 and then page 2, right? So it actually gives you pages per what you wrote. However, this is just a preview, right? The whole point is that you can export this, and let's export it as a Word file. And go like that. Okay, let's jump to here and open this. That's the new version that I exported. And this is what you actually get. So even though there was a page break at instantly usable, or there's something like instantaneous somewhere. Oh, I made a mistake. I exported only 1 page. Let's export again. So let's go back to the last opened note. Okay, let's do export and then select all. Yes, I exported only 1. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. Maybe the default would be export all. That would be an interesting point. So let's export and check it now. So now we should have everything correct. There we go. So here is the page break that we had. And what it does is actually just brings it into a new line. And if I had a lot of text, the exported new page would be when you fill out the page, not here, which is a good thing. Now for the editing part, which is actually really cool. So I can just easily tap here and go, okay, so you're going to be right around there. So that's good. And then I can just verify it and go like, this is the new notebook on the Supernote. Okay, that's not correct. So I'm just gonna delete this and go here and say Supernote dot space. So, or maybe I don't need a space. No, I do need a space. It now finally supports real-time handwriting. There's a space here that we can add or get away with. Handwriting recognition, it uses a completely new type of notebook, which probably won't satisfy everyone, but I think that it's a satisfactory compromise if the recognition actually works as expected. So let's add a new paragraph here. This is actually quite cool. It does what the name says. It automatically, this is normal, this is automatically doesn't fit here, so it's a justification thing, is continuously. Okay, let's connect this, there we go. Continuously convert, and you do have gestures if you want to write, you have gestures to connect and do all of those things. Continuously converting handwriting into text, and the accuracy is quite nice so far. So then I was testing out the lasso tool. Let's go new paragraph. Lasso function, it works as expected. It's pretty cool that we still have title, keyword, and the linking functionality in the new notebook type as well. The handwriting conversion and recognition is exceptionally good. That makes it instantly usable, very much so. It also apparent that the eraser performance, and that's usually the new line when the word is broken, has been improved somewhere along the line. It is now instantaneous, and there is literally 0 waiting time when using the pen button to erase content. I'm also happy that they chose to use the stroke eraser as the default one in this notebook type, as it is my puffer. No, it's not my puffer, it's my preferred. And let's get rid of the ED as well. So let's type preferred one. Okay, fine. Spelling, who needs it? So there we go, my preferred one for handling writing. And that's that. And then I just hit save, and that's my document. And you can continue writing if you want with your Bluetooth keyboard, things like that. So I just wanted to give you a real-time example without any cuts or breaks or anything like that. How does this whole experience look like and what the results are on a longer example? And I think that it's just working so good that it's a really interesting thing to see. Other things that have also been improved is that, as you've noticed, the eraser gesture has been significantly improved. One of the things is also that the preferred page swipe that I have had some issues, but now it's been fixed as well from the previous beta. But yeah, the gesture for erasing is quite a lot more reliable. So now it's like 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm trying to get like, when will I have the fail? 8, 9. Okay, 1 out of 10 I got in this test. So that's quite a lot improved. There's also an addition in standard notes. The handwriting can now be exported to Word file as well. And there was an issue that was fixed, and which was if you were to delete a customized note template, sometimes it would cause the original file to be damaged, and that is now as well fixed. So yeah, we now have handwriting recognition on the Supernote. Pretty freaking cool. Well, there you go. What can I say? Supernote does it again. It is implemented in a very interesting way. I did not expect them to actually go in the direction of having a completely separate notebook type, and that I think is going to, or might be, a point of contention for some users, that you have to think beforehand and convert, and that you can't really convert your existing notebooks in this way. So that is an obvious negative point. Maybe they will figure out a way in the future that you can maybe convert a standard notebook into a real-time notebook. So that's something that would be definitely a useful type of thing, because I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. And if they come to that option, that you have an option to actually convert a standard into a real-time handwriting and a real-time handwriting back into a standard one if you want to, that I think would be a very good way to go for this platform, simply because then it would add an added layer of flexibility and freedom to the users, so that you don't have to go like, oh, I forgot to turn on the real-time handwriting platform or notebook, and now I can't do a real-time handwriting notebook. So that is definitely something that you have to kind of keep in mind, and it's not an ideal solution. But the way it works, how it functions, and the ease of use of the real-time handwriting notebook is absolutely phenomenal, for me at least, because it's exactly how I would want it to work. I didn't like how it worked on the Remarkable because it's super limited, and I'm not a fan of how they've implemented it now in version 3, because you have like an inserted page, and sure, you have more flexibility and it's better than what used to be on the Remarkable 2, but in general, it's still not an ideal option how it works. On the books platform, you had that two weird options, which is either like displaced text boxes all over the place, which requires a lot of formatting, or just a dedicated page where you again have to do a lot of formatting, which is better. It's still better than what you get in the Remarkable 2, but it wasn't really that great. Here, this actually makes sense, and for whatever reason, even though it's very similar to how you do things in books, it performs better, but it just feels easier to use. I haven't spent enough time with it to be able to give you an exact reason why that's my impression, but I am absolutely aware that that is my impression, that for some reason that I haven't identified yet, I find the handwriting conversion process and the workflow easier and more accessible than the one that is on books. We'll see why as I spend more time with it, but as it is, I really love what they're doing with the platform, and that's a huge addition to the Supernote platform that's had absolutely phenomenal development in the year 2022. So another year of an amazing development and improvements and evolution of the Supernote platform, which again, applause to the Rata team and a huge thank you for doing what they are doing and the way that they are doing, and they are still standing above the crowd. And as far as I'm personally at least concerned, I think that they're setting an example for everyone else, Kindle, Kobo, Remarkable Books, everyone else, to actually see how these things should be done. Transparent roadmap, respecting the roadmap, clearly communicating when there's a problem, what we're doing with the problem. The clarity of the communication is the important aspect for me here, because then I know what I can expect and what not to expect and when to expect and things like that. And those are pretty valuable for me, at least. I don't know for you guys, but for me, that's a pretty big value. So yeah, awesome update as well, and an awesome way to wrap up the year 2022 for the Supernote platform. We'll see what the roadmap for 2023 brings and whether or not we are ever going to get a screen share option on the Supernote, because I think that so far that's the only thing of the major ones that's missing on the Supernote. Once it has that, then I think it has pretty much everything that you might need, and there you go. Then it just is the platform to go for, and adding images into notebooks and maybe shapes in notebooks. Yeah, so those three I'm missing, and the fourth one, and the ability to add links in PDFs to notebooks and to other PDFs, and the ability to add... Okay, I could actually go on and on. Yes, there's always more things, but you know, you get the point. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on My Deep Guide. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the update. Have you tried it yet? Have you tested it? What works for you? What doesn't work? What you like? What you don't like? And also what you would like to see further improved on the Supernote platform as well, because it's an interesting discussion to have and a good and a valuable insight also for all of us to have and for the developers as well. Also, I would invite you to check out the mydeepguide.com/shop, where you can find the My Daily Organizer to start your 2023 year in an organized and good fashion. And there's no better way to do it than with the MDO 2023, which satisfies all of your personal or professional yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily organizational needs and wants. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.